This morning we're talking with Brady. How do you pronounce your last name, Brady?
McElligott.
McElligott. Okay, that sounds like
Right.
a good drink. But,
It's a Dr. Seuss book, McElligott's Pool.
okay. We are discussing this morning a little bit about, actually we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary with our Facebook group, Following God Out of Christianity and Returning to the Teaching of the Torah. And we wanted to give the members of our group an opportunity to meet the admins. Last week we talked with Yoshi and my wife Leora, and today we're going to be talking with Brady. I remember when I first met Brady, he was in another group, and I had been observing him for a long time in his conversations. And I was thinking to myself, this guy really needs to be in our group. And so I sent him an invitation, and he gladly accepted it. And we made him an admin, and he is the 4th admin in our group. And we're glad to have you with us, Brady. And we so much appreciate the fact that you have stepped up and have invested a lot of your own personal time within the group, trying to help people follow God out of Christianity and to keep the definition of our group on track. Of course, we know, most people would know that we are not a Jewish group, but having said that, we welcome Jews within our group, and there is a multitude of Jews within our group who are helping us and keeping us on track as we follow God out of Christianity and return to the teaching of the Torah.
Well, my mom is Jewish, and my dad was raised Roman Catholic. Oddly enough, later on in his life, he always knew he was Black Irish, and we did some research on them, and his ancestors were some of the people that escaped from Spain because of the 1492 edicts, and the ship crashed off the coast of Ireland, and they ended up being in Ireland, and of course they eventually became Roman Catholic. But it was interesting to discover that my father had Sephardic Jewish roots, even though he was Roman Catholic. But he was he thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, my mom was sort of raised just haphazardly and wasn't particularly anything. I was raised with I would definitely not say helicopter parents, but they definitely watched over me and my siblings. And the public school system was really, really, really poor in that place. And my parents decided that they needed to put me into some kind of a private school because this other system was just not working. I had already been reading for 2 years by the time I was 5, and they were giving me failing grades in reading because I read so much better, and they just figured that I could memorize the pictures, the words. So the only school that was in the area that was a decent private school turned out to be a parochial Christian school. So this is primarily where I learned the majority of what I know about the New Testament, because they were really gung-ho Baptist type stuff, Yeah. And so I learned the Christian Bible inside and out, and I went to that school probably through grade 7 before I moved someplace else and was able to go to public school. So as a result, I knew what you'd say Bible better than most Christians did, even though I didn't believe what I was learning, but I could pass all the tests. And so they really were not particularly fond of me because they knew I was Jewish, but they knew that I was a good student and I was learning things. And so, being the good Baptist that they were, I think they probably figured that something would eventually wear off on me. And some of it did. I was not aware of the fact that Christianity and Judaism could not mix. They were like oil and water. And I think it was about 10th grade. I had a friend that was Jewish that took me under his wing, and he said, you need to come to shul with me. And I said, okay. So I did. And I didn't have any problem. I didn't feel like I was a Christian. I felt I felt I had a Jewish identity. And I had a really good time at the shul, and it turned out that all my other Jewish friends at school went to this particular shul. Oddly enough, it's the shul that Rabbi Federer is the rabbi of now. When I discovered the groups online on Facebook, I thought they were fantastic, absolutely fantastic, because how many times do you get so many people from across the United States to be able to give input on certain subjects? And the Jewish groups were, I think, where we met was on another group. And one of the things that really kind of got all the Jewish people together, I think, were some of the ones that were regular, some of the Christians that were regular on some of those other groups that would bring out the same arguments over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And the arguments would be answered in millions of ways, and they wouldn't listen.
Yeah, they never do.
And so, in a way, it was a good way of bringing all the truths together to counteract some of these false claims. And I really do. It's an important part of my life at this point to be able to see some of the answers, and then also getting to meet Rabbi Federer and finding out that he's the rabbi of the shul that I used to attend, which was great. And of course, looking at his book and everything, and also the other books, some of the Noahide books that are from some of the members of the groups. They're amazing. The scholarship and stuff that has gone into so many of these books, and I don't know. I can't imagine people that are truly seeking not finding answers, not looking and finding answers, and when they find the answers, they just say, "Well, that's my interpretation," or something like this. It's just bizarre to me. In so many ways, the church tries to promote that feeling, because they know that if you really go into Torah, you'll have more questions than the church can answer. And so I think it's in the church's best interest to sort of put Torah in this sort of weird type thing that people have to kind of be afraid of, because basically it will destroy their castle.
Yes.
I hate confrontations. I really hate confrontation.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I have learned to do in my job, because in music, you'd think, well, everybody in music agrees about everything. No, they don't. And there's lots of different philosophies about teaching. There's lots of philosophies about performing. And what I try to do is find ways that everybody can work together in my job and be kind of like oil on troubled waters, as opposed to the one that always gets in your face and makes everybody angry.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some of the people in the group, I think, see me as the person that's always getting in your face and making everybody angry. But what I try to do is find a way that we can all tolerate each other and help each other and support each other, rather than pushing buttons that make somebody else immediately turn red and go through the ceiling.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I've tried to do with the group and making some guidelines.
Well, we appreciate you, Brady, and for your input within our group and the direction that the group has gone in this past year. When we first started the group back in February of 2015, we had no idea that there'd be so many people leaving Jesus. We thought, well, we've left, and we want to know what it means to follow Hashem and to follow His perfect law. We embrace it. Maybe there'd be a dozen people that were going this direction. We didn't know it, but it's interesting on the internet. You can connect with people all over the world, which is remarkable in this day and age that we live. We have friends all over the world now who are following God out of Christianity and returning to the teaching of the Torah. What could be better than that?
Well, my conclusion, I guess, for this would be following God, I believe, will take you out of Christianity if you really are following God, because I don't believe Christianity was formed with the idea of following God. I believe Christianity in its inception was formed to control people, and that's not what God is about. And so if you can follow God, I believe He will take you out of this entire world of Christianity, and it will take you to the truth. I'm Brady McElligott, and I am following God wherever He goes, and it is certainly out of Christianity.